Guards man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
It's hotting up at the top of the IPL as CSK put their blip behind them and storm into the lead despite the best efforts of the amazing Andre Russell. Kings 11 can join them there with victory at the Wankhede today, while Mumbai need the points to stay in touch. It's good morning, good evening, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket and its coverage of the IPL 2019. I'm Gorilla Hendo, Nigel Henderson, and I am joined by young, wise people. Oh no, there's Grubby. I have Rob Sutton on my right on the jingles.
Hello everybody.
And he doesn't have it. He has a Twitter handle.
I do.
But he doesn't.
Rob Sutton 22. It's nothing inventive.
Is there nothing we can think for? I will find something.
Should we tweet in?
Tweet in. What would you like Rob Sutton's Twitter handle stroke nickname to be? With one of the greatest Twitter handles known to mankind. It is Paul Howarth himself, Grubby78.
Hello everyone, nice to be back.
And Mumbai have won the toss in a return, for the first time, a return game as it were. We've already played up in the Punjab, where Kings 11 came out on top. But here today at the Wankhede, Mumbai have won the toss. They've put Kings 11 into bat, and we have team and captaincy news.
Yep, teams are as follows. So the Kings 11 Punjab line up thusly. KL Rahul, Chris Gale, Karen Nair into the side, pregnant fifth former. Sarfaraz Khan, David Miller, Mandeep Singh, Sam Curran, Little Sammy Curran. Hardus Villian is in the side. R. Ashwin, the man-cad man. Mohammed Shami and Ankit Rajput. And the Mumbai Indians as follows. Excellently named Sidesh Ladd is in the side.
He's a bit of a lad.
He'll be opening with Quinton de Kock, wicketkeeper. Surya Kumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan, another excellent name there. Krunal Pandya and Hardik Pandya. Karan Pollard, the captain. Rahul Chahar, Alzari Joseph, the record breaker from the other day. Tall Aussie Jason Behrendorf.
tall.
Jasprit Bumrah.
Well, that's not a bad lineup, is it? Although, of course, Rohit Sharma is out of the team and it won't be captaining. Kieran Pollard has taken over. Apparently, poor old Rohit, on the basis that he hasn't been able to get a 50 in this year's tournament so far, has had a bit of a spasm in his leg. Oh, we know that can happen as you get a bit older. It's not just legs. You can spasm all over before you know it. Anyway, KL Rahul is lining up and his jingle goes a bit like this. There he goes. There he goes. He's out there with the boss of the universe. Maybe the boss of what's bigger than the universe? The multiverse.
Lordy. Something to do with a black hole or something to do with I don't know.
Astronomers out there. Where's
a white dwarf?
White dwarf. Where's Matt Burley when you need him? He's a rocket scientist. He should know these things. Anyway, the countdown has begun. We are ready to go. Go play, says a machine, and so we will. He's going to start over the wicket, left arm over the wicket. He's got one slip, 4 in the offside ring. I'll bring you the rest of the field in a minute. It's Berendorf, we'll jingle him up as well. Oh, he has a little push at that, does Rahul. Outside the off stump is beaten and through the keeper it goes.
Isn't it lovely? Isn't it nice? Luring in the baton with balls that entice. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it nice? Like luring in a pervert with a glimpse of my tights. Jason Berendorf.
I haven't seen a right lot of Jason Berendorf, and when I say not a right lot, I mean zero. But first impressions, he's like a left-arm version of Josh Hazlewood, very tall at the crease.
Has he got a little bit of Bruce Reed about him? Do you think? No. In he comes, bowls again. That's outside the off stump, but he's feeling for it a little bit. It was much fuller. Got a very thick inside edge onto his boot. Really, it looked like a ball ran out into the offside, and there is no run. Yes, as we said, Kings 11 can join CSK at the top with 10 points, although they will have played one game more, I think, than everybody. Mumbai Indians are still trying to play catch-up. They've played 5 games so far, 5th position at the moment. I suppose it's not that important, although if you're a fan of RCB, I imagine that you've gone on holiday somewhere. It's hardly worth it, is it? Berendorf in again, good delivery outside the off stump, and he just jabs this down very watchfully to cover point, and there is no run. And how about people out there in the real world on Twitter sphere?
Well, been joined by a few people just as you speak there.
Yes.
So mere seconds after leaving his keyboard. Ravi is with us. He's been there for a while. He says, "Hi all, lovely to hear you all as always. Hi Hendo, hi Grubby. Perhaps Rob Sutton could upgrade his name and sound slightly harder in it by changing his Twitter handle to Rob Croydon 22. Keep those suggestions coming in.
How about Rutten?
Rutten.
Rutten. Don't know what that is really. Rutten. I just, maybe not. Berendorf again. Oh, that's too wide of the off stump. But he was thinking about aiming a drive, which would have been very much on the up and very dangerous, I think. As it is, he just manages to resist, and through it goes to keep it no run.
Just playing his 4th game in the IPL today, Berendorf, and I can see why already he has excellent economy figures of just 6.3 per over.
Well, we saw a bit of him, didn't we? See a bit of him in that India-Australia one-day series.
Yeah,
I think
he did play in that. He sort of came through in the final couple of seasons at the Wacker.
Right. Oh well.
Scorchers before they moved to the new place. That's sort of where he burst onto the scene.
Right. Here he is again. Bowls to Rahul. Rahul, absolutely no foot movement, hangs the bat out there, and somehow works it through, I don't know, about a 4th slip area down to 3rd man, and the first run is scored.
That was like a low windscreen wiper, wasn't it?
It was terrible,
somehow managed to time it beautifully down to 3rd man.
Extraordinary. You can see why he struggles in Test cricket with shots like that. It was a nothing shot, wasn't it? And we've seen him do that quite a bit in the longer form of the game. He's got to get his feet moving, or leave it alone, I suppose. So we're looking at that points table. Poor old RCB. Wouldn't it be funny if no, probably not if you're an RCB fan, but if you did go through the whole 14 games?
Oh, it'd be hilarious for everyone, wouldn't it?
What sort of state of flammability will Virat Kohli be in by that point?
He'd have surely exploded by then.
He'd have left.
Short-circuited completely. I don't know. Yes, he will have left. I mean, it's a good reason for him to get away and have a bit of a rest before the World Cup, isn't it? If they don't win a game within the next 2 or 3. Berendorf, and to completely over to the universe boss, the multi-universe boss, and he defends it back to the bowler, and that is the end of the over. Just a single from it. Very good from Berendorf. Shall we jingle up the boss himself?
If you knew Chris Gale like I know Chris Gale.
You know he's a pretty shit human being.
I think that's harsh. Really? Is he really a shit human being? What do you think?
There are
Robert?
worse human beings.
I think I think possibly around the world there are one or two people that would come lower on the list.
Yeah,
of
he's
Chris Gayle.
relatively harmless. I mean, I think some people take issue with his rather colourful personality, and he's said one or two things that perhaps have been slightly unsavoury, but he's not exactly a serial killer or anything stupid like that. It's
Unless of course he is.
Well, unless he is.
This could be his cover.
Unless he is, yeah.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
He wouldn't get away from the scene of a crime quickly, would he?
Very good point, actually. Yeah,
you need a very good getaway driver.
Who would be Chris Gayle's getaway driver?
Keep that engine running.
We want suggestions for Chris Gayle's getaway driver after he's serially killed someone.
Our friend Kunal Tulani says, hi Guerrilla Cricket, Sidesh Lad is playing today. He's been Mumbai's crisis man in recent times. I'm pretty excited to see him finally play in the IPL. I think we saw some footage of him getting his cap there.
We did. He looked so young, didn't he? He looked so delighted.
He's Nobbit a lad.
He's but a lad. Anyway, it's going to be Jasprit Bumrah, who has a jingle that goes like this.
And now the Monty Bumrah, oh, you're bowling again.
He's in full, driven, failing to find the gap on the offside, Rahul. And there is no run. Sluggish start for the Kings 11. 7 balls gone, 1 run scored. More jingles, more tweets.
Well, James Belfast just replying to Ravi's suggestion for Rob Croydon. Just thinks it's a fine idea. Yeah. Come up with one of your own, perhaps.
Have you ever had that before? Have you been acquainted with Croydon?
No. Well,
where are you from originally?
Well, I'm originally from a place you don't like.
Oh, that's right. Oh God, no, please.
Yeah.
Roundabout Central.
Yes.
Well, it could be Swindon's got a lot of roundabouts as well. In he comes, bowls and pushed firmly up to a deep set mid-on, and they come through for another single. Wild throw from whoever it was there. It was Alzari Jones, looking for a little bit more accuracy when he gets on. Of course, taking 6 for 12 in his first run out, and well, he deserves it. He's had a hard year, Alzari, with his losing his mum and whatever. That's a terrible thing to happen, and then have to play cricket on the same day. Anyway, 2 for no wicket.
So despite the fact I am from the aforementioned Milton Keynes, all my family's from Leicester, so I support Leicester City. So
cool. Talk about out of the frying pan into the fire. We've got the Space Centre in Leicester, which visited with the family. It's an excellent establishment.
And now the King Richard III exhibition.
Oh yes.
It's quite expensive for
Was that built on the car park? Presumably the car park made more money.
No. They must have charged him a fortune to stay there.
Yeah. Oh, now onto the back foot goes Chris Gayle. Defends this down to third man. Jogs through for the single. Yeah, that's a point, isn't it? Will he have to pay overstaying fines?
Especially if he can't find his ticket.
Exactly.
He'll never find his ticket.
When was that? 1600s, 1500s?
And he was discovered about 2015.
2015. God, that's right. That's a lot of fines to pay. No wonder NC.
He's a king, to be fair. He should be able to afford it.
I suppose that's true. That's true. I mean, if he's had some money in the bank, it will have accrued a little bit of interest, I suppose, although not so much recently. 3 for no wicket. As Jasprit skips in, bowls a short ball, which discomforts Rahul ever so slightly. Gets a bit squared up as he runs it down to third man, and the score moves on to 4 without loss.
Ding, 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 we've got a new follower.
Hey!
It's Abby, or A-B-H-I. Abby, or Abhi, or I don't know. And I was just about to say, why don't you send us a tweet to let us know you're there? But he already has.
And what's he say?
He just says, what a lad.
What a lad.
Presumably talking about Sidesh.
Absolutely.
Hello, Abby, and I'm sorry if I've said your name wrong, but you can advise me how to say it, and you're very welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Indeed. The more the merrier. We're having a little party here today. Hopefully, because Manny brought some beer in. Full, and just has a little jab at it again with his feet rooted to the ground. That's Gayle this time, but it beats him outside the off stump. And there is no run.
Very good start here from the Indians, isn't it? And a very slow start from Kings 11. Chris Gayle obviously, usually doesn't he, takes a few balls to get his eye in, and he's very watchful and deliberate early on, which he's certainly being here, and 0 foot movement.
Yes,
I hardly need to tell you that.
The way he defends, it sort of belies the aggression to come, doesn't it? It is the calm before the storm. Here's Bumrah to complete his first over, just 3 runs from it. He's into Gayle. He bowls short, but not as short as Gayle thought it was going to be. He kind of flinched and weaved away from it, but it never really got up that much. That is the end of the over. 4 for no wicket after 2.
I wonder how close that was to just grazing his glove on the way through, because it was slightly closer to him than he anticipated. And just dropped his hands. I'll be interested to see a side-on angle, but probably not going to see one. So let's move on with our lives.
Move on.
Then Ravi comes back on Rob's potential handles and says, or in the spirit of a certain Indian cricketer we would rather not name, how about Robbie 22, and never show your face again to a member of the opposite sex for fear of the laughter.
What's that about?
Anyone?
I've lost all
Rabbi,
that.
explain yourself.
You have to explain that one.
No, we don't get that, Rabbi. You're on some other planet with the universe boss.
It's not to do with KL and Hardick's unwise comments, is it?
I wonder whether it's
months
something to do with that. It may be something to do with that, but we'll have to look into it more deeply.
I'm speculating.
Yes, Berendorf starts his second over, bowls to Rahul, and he plays that much better. He gets onto the tippy toes and plays a lovely stroke off the back foot through the covers for the first one of these. Yeah, that was a much more confident shot, and he's been in good form, Rahul, in this series. He's got 3 50s already, top score of 71 not out. Twice he's got 71 not out, and one of those times was in the reverse fixture early on.
That was a PCS, wasn't it? Proper cricket shot.
Oh, proper cricket shot. That was lovely. Here he comes again, Berendorf. What can he produce in response? A fuller ball, which is driven up to mid-on. Didn't really time it, dragged it a little bit, and there is no run.
Should say hello to my mate Deco, who I think has tuned in. Hello there, Deco. We'll be reviewing the rule when we get to 12 overs, double the score.
Oh, right.
Dec's the one who's very keen on the 30 over rule in 50 over cricket.
Is he Australian?
Double the score. No, he's not.
Even though you want to say Deco.
Is he the former Portuguese footballer?
No, indeed. I don't think anyone ever called him Deco before I met him. He's got Declan Nagel, to give him his full name.
Deco, I like Deco.
Yeah.
I think he should change his nationality to Australian.
How do you feel about that, Dex? Let me know.
Berendorf then, waiting for Rahul to be ready. Gale has a single, Rahul has 7. We have 8 for no wicket. We're onto the midway point of the third over. Berendorf runs in, bowls back of the length, tries to really force this, perhaps a little bit too much bottom hand, doesn't really time it, and the ball runs up comfortably to mid-off.
The Kings 11 have been quite top heavy with their runs this season. Their middle order's not got many runs. Sort of the games they've won, a lot of the time there's been the bowlers have dug them out of trouble.
Defended back to Berendorf. Was that, or was that a replay?
That was a replay.
Well, they're just showing a replay of a forward defensive. I don't understand that. I mean, I suppose you don't get many forward defensives in this form of the game, so it's almost a highlight.
It's society, mate, isn't it? We're celebrating the last decade before we're even out of it.
He's in again. Ooh, now, well, tucked away nicely off his hip this time by Rahul. There is a man out at deep backward square. Looks like, well, I thought it was Jasprit Bumrah, but he doesn't throw left-handed, does he? Anyway, it's going to be a bit dewy out there by the looks of things. He's rubbing his hands on a towel, the bowler, Berendorf.
Ravi's disappointed in us for not getting his previous reference. He says, "Oh, FFS. It is obviously Robin Utapa who has decided to have Robbie written on his shirt instead of Robin."
Oh, well, I was going to say, is it to do with the Utapa, but I didn't think he was sort of high profile enough, really, to be worth considering.
Well, he's certainly on Ravi's radar.
He is. He has got a lot of runs in the IPL. He's just perhaps not that well known to people outside India, I would have said, who don't watch the IPL. Here comes Berendorf into Gale. Gale goes back, and then he's gone outside his leg stump and then swung this away towards cow corner. Hardik Pandya is out there. He bowls the ball back in, and they just take a single, 10 for no wicket.
It was bizarre, that was.
It was a very strange shot, wasn't it?
Backed away.
Bull's following him, and then he just claps it away off middle stump.
That's not in the coaching manual, that is it?
Not in the coaching manual. Goodness me. Creating new shots, whatever next.
Putting names on the back of the shirt. Test cricket.
Well, actually, I'm for that. Well, actually,
I am as
don't
well.
mind that, yeah.
I don't see a problem with that, really. I'll come back to that in a minute.
Anything that assists a commentator.
Yeah, absolutely. Berendorf in, touched away through mid-wicket. They're certainly going to get one. They might even think about coming back for a second, as I think that's the poor lad himself, isn't it? Going after that. He's got it. And they've decided to stick with the single. 7 runs from the over.
Everyone looks young these days, don't they? But he looks particularly young, doesn't he, the lad? Ravi's also given us, in this in the absence of Nestle Boy, our headline of the day.
Go for it.
Which is, UK government website sends people seeking advice on bees to escort service. And I don't think they mean a Ford dealership.
Goodness me. That is a cracker. That's a cracker.
I've retweeted that for all of you lucky people out there, if you want to have a look at that in your own time. Should we say hello to everyone on Crick Tracker and Facebook Live and any other of the places where you can see us, Motley Lot.
YouTube, you'll find us on YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh, we're back YouTubing, are we?
We're kind of. We're on a second channel. Don't tell anyone.
Oh,
we're on a
right.
second YouTube channel.
We're
as well.
not, don't go on YouTube.
Feels like we're on the run.
Yeah, we're on the run.
Digitally
again.
on the run.
Yeah, digitally on the run. Yeah, they can make a film. Steven Spiegel. No, not Spiegel. Steven
Spielberg.
Spielberg will make one about that. Yes, indeed. Let's not talk about artificial intelligence, otherwise I'll be replaced.
Here he is.
Alzari Joseph is going to get a go.
Record breaker.
He's got a bit to live up to. That's to be safe.
Follow that.
Has he got a jingle? Have we found his jingle?
I'm trying to find it.
He's got that one that just goes Alzari Joseph.
Oh, that's
doesn't
right.
he?
Yeah, that's a great jingle. Where's he? Might be hiding in West Indies cricketers. Anyway, he's got
Whatever
a
next.
wide slip.
He's done it for us.
He's in, bowls to Rahul, and he defends it back to Alzari himself. So as I say, he's got a slip, a wideish slip. We're going to see his 6 wickets now, dragged on by Warner. Horrible pull shot that went skewing up in the air to short third man. An enormous heave across. I don't know who that was actually. And then there's that's Rashid. That's Rashid getting caught and bowled sort of level with himself. Then there's a middle stump being taken a boovie as he went right across, and then a lovely little edge from the for the last man in. Full ball dug out by Rahul and played well. His placement is very good there. That is, I think, Bumrah who makes ground to that one. A strange return, wasn't it? It was like he was bowling it without lifting his front arm. Very odd.
Just going back to that package of his 6 wickets, there was some nice bowling in there, but there was some proper tail end shots.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It's like the old PlayStation games when the tail enders couldn't bat; they'd just sort of waft it vaguely near.
It was pretty poor, wasn't it? Yeah, they were bowled out for so few, weren't they? That's the amazing thing about Sunrisers. When Bairstow hasn't got going, they've struggled a little bit.
It was under 100, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, was it under 100 or was it just over 100? I think it was just 93 or something like that. I can't remember now. These games come thick and fast, as they say. At this time of the year, that's what the footballers always say. They come thick and fast at this time.
Yeah, very congested calendar schedule.
Easter period.
Yeah. The fixture list computers, remember we used to talk about that?
Oh yes,
People still talk about that now.
Joseph in. Oh, wow, that's a real wind-up from Chris Gale, who tries to smear that over mid-wicket, getting his front foot out of the way, but he makes no contact and the ball goes through. He's only scored 2 from the 6 balls that he's faced. And, that could have easily clipped his off stump.
Yeah. Quinton had a good old smile at that, didn't he? Suddenly Quinton de Kock looks really old, didn't he, in comparison with the lad.
The lad, yeah. The lad's made everyone look,
he's like a gnarled old pro now, Quinton.
Yeah.
And these two, by the way, both average over 50 in the IPL. Over 40. And there can't be too many teams with both openers averaging over 40.
Well, I think Rahul averages over 50 for this particular tournament.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, he's batted really well in this tournament so far. Gale waits, and Joseph is in, and this time he plays more circumspectly up to mid-on where Pollard fields, and they take a single. 13 for no wicket.
Gale's either going to get out soon or find the stand.
Suddenly
it's
it will happen.
in a minute.
Which will it be? That's the tension of the moment. Now what are we seeing? We're seeing the average first innings total since the start of 2018, 175 apparently.
That's one of the higher ones.
Yeah, it could be in
Well, Delhi is slow, isn't it? Delhi is really slow.
The game yesterday was quite low scoring, wasn't it? The
it was
the CSK game.
Yeah. Well, it was only Andre Russell that got the Knight Riders anything.
And they were still well short.
And they were still miles short. Yes. Joseph in again, picked up by Rahul. Has he got too much height and not enough length? We shall see down at long leg. It's gone all the way. It's soared over the man down there, and it is 6 runs.
I believe in miracles. Since you came to bat, you 60 thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came out to bat.
I mean, is that a good shot or is that slightly mishit?
Well, it was one of those where I thought he could well be caught in the outfield here because he didn't quite get it, but it just went on and on and on, and in the end it was about 15 rows back, wasn't it?
It seemed to pick up pace in the air.
Yes, I'm going to say, is there a sort of wind that we don't know about that operates in India?
Or is the air particularly thin?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not high up, is it? I don't think.
Don't know.
Anyway.
I've
got to apologise in advance for Short Third Man's latest tweet.
Okay.
Did you hear about the IPL thief? Last I heard, he was robbing a tapper.
Hey.
Oh dear. James
very
Belfast on Ravi's story says confusion caused by an inquiry about fly honeys. That's the escort.
Oh, right.
More from Ravi in a moment.
Joseph comes in to complete his first over. It's been a bit more difficult than his first match already. This is fiddled out to backward point for a single by Rahul, who'll keep the strike. He's on 17, Gale has 3.
Yeah, Ravi has another suggestion for Rob, brackets, it doesn't seem to be taken yet, which is at Chris Sutton the First.
Chris Sutton the First.
Chris Sutton the First.
Why do you want to be called Chris Sutton though?
I don't know. I don't particularly like.
You're
Chris
not related
Sutton.
to
I
him,
don't
mate.
like.
He does.
No,
He does tend to polarise opinions.
I don't
No.
like him. I don't like him.
I thought he was a decent player, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not a massive fan of him as
Not
a
as a
pundit.
pundit. No.
Well, obviously, I'm an Ipswich fan, so obviously I've got some sort
hate
of
him.
preconception.
Hate him.
But actually, whisper it. I don't mind him on the radio. I know.
Oh.
I don't mind him. He's not boring, at least.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Who is
Better than either of you watched the
Most
Spurs
other
game
people.
last night. Genus on the telly last night. The Spurs
Yeah.
game was awful.
Is he?
It does amaze me how certain players manage to get their foot in, and then you keep seeing them. You know, like, I mean, Robbie Savage and Danny Murphy and, you know...
I don't mind Danny
I'm not
Murphy.
saying I mind them, but I'm wondering why some of them... None of them seem to be any better than the others. And I'm wondering why they get all the work and other people don't. It's not spread around so much, but I suppose that's the way of the world these days. 4 overs bowled, 20 for none. Berendorf will continue. He's about to bowl his 3rd. I think we should have a change at the end of this over because we've got quite a few people can do ball by ball today. In comes the left armer, bowls to Rahul. Rahul clips a good length delivery off his legs. He's going to get 1 out to deep mid wicket.
Our friend Sally R56, imagine, says surely the Mumbai Indians can be renamed either the Mumbai Glitter or Mumbai Bling. The gold leaf is very distracting, especially in close-up. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's sort of gold lame effect, isn't it?
Well,
And it hurts my eyes every time I look at it.
It makes me feel like I should be sort of pulling a Christmas cracker or something. You know, it's sort of maybe pull Jerison Berendorf from both ends and see what comes out.
Toy car.
Probably Steve Smith.
Probably Steve Smith. Oh my
It
God!
looks like a bit slightly elongated Steve Smith. Do you not think?
Do you think so?
Yes, could be his.
I'm not sure who's
Slightly
that
rougher.
more of an insult
I
to.
don't know. I always think.
Hopefully both.
I always think Hanscom looks like he might be Steve Smith's lost brother. Anyway, got 5 men saving the single on the offside. Inside that 30-metre ring. Here's Berendorf again, left arm over, bowls to Gale, and as we said, something had to give, and it was Berendorf, because Gale has smacked him true and straight, and very high for one of these. Yes, indeed, a maximum.
Maximum.
That's Gale at his best, isn't it? He's just heaved that away, he's kept his head over the ball. I heard sort of an interview, or part of an interview with Gale, and what amazed me was just how easy he actually finds it to hit sixes. I mean, he just knows he can hit sixes. He just has that incredible belief. And you know, most of us, when we're trying to hit a six, it's like every sinew is snapping. And he's picked up another one. He's crashed that one. This time cross-batted over deep mid-wicket. It's gone for another of these.
2 sixes in a row.
Oh.
2 sixes in a row.
I heard that one.
2 sixes in a row.
Oh.
So that's what happens if you don't come in here every single day, and it does feel as if I do. But if you don't, you miss some of the great jingles that have come in the meantime.
20 quid a year to have access to all of those jingles and all of our commentary for the last 4 or 5
It's an
years.
astonishing bargain.
What value that is.
I mean,
Get
you
on
know,
it.
If you got that on Amazon, you'd be all over it, wouldn't you?
You so would. You so would.
It's a gale storm.
Now, this is a bit after the event, but I'm slightly surprised that they've carried on with Berendorf's spell here, because his first over, they were very watchful and he bowled well. They've started to line him up a little bit now, particularly Gale. And I just wonder they might have been better bringing someone else on, something different for the batsman to have to focus on again.
Deep mid-wicket and a long on are the 2 men out. And that's very clever from Berendorf, because you could see Gale eyeing that up, ready to give it another almighty heave, but it was a slower delivery and he had to adjust and wait for it, and then could only play it defensively into the offside.
Yeah, good cojones there from Berendorf. How steely have you got to be to throw in a slower ball, having been clobbered for 2 sixes previously? That's pretty good stuff.
It was clever bowling, and yeah, as you say, very much
taken?
kudos to him.
Was it-
Put down
Oh!
hang on, it's hit a woman in the eye.
Hit somewhere in the crowd.
Oh, ouch.
I think she
Yeah,
had
man.
glasses on, so she might have either broken her glasses but saved her eye, and that's the main thing, I suppose. 33 for no wicket. Rahul 18. Gale now on to 15 with those successive maximums. And we were talking the other day, weren't we? We've got maximums. We should have minimums.
Minimums
for singles. Anyway, we'll think about that again. I know Arthurshire was keen on it. In comes Berendorf, and back goes Gale and levers this over the offside. There is no one out there. They're all in the ring, and it's just a couple of bounces into the boundary.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Could you get ready to play a marketing
I will
jingle
do.
between in the turnover?
Chris Waller has joined us from the driving range. He's having a nice day. isn't he?
Oh, very nice.
Hello, Chris. Message here says, evening, gents. Just realised that we're still only about a third of the way through the IPL. It's going to be a bloody long month.
You might say that Chris Gale is in the driving range at the moment, although that one was carved up and over. Nothing subtle about it, really. But there was anything about Gale. Oh, he's waiting for this one. I think he's done it again.
Yes.
Up and over, inside out. And it's into the crowd. 3 sixes and a 4 from the over. Berendorf's figures suffer immensely. It's 43 for no wicket after 5.
The best things in life are free. Just like gorilla commentary, we need money. To Patreon, that's what I want. .com/gorilla cricket. We need money. Patreon.com/gorilla cricket. I don't like the BBC. I prefer gorilla commentary. I want money. $20 for the archive. That's what I want. Or just buy a t-shirt.
Well, delighted to be back.
Just delighted anyway, aren't you, Tony?
I'm just
After
delighted.
the weekend's
that-
event.
well, I know. I don't want to talk too much about it. because it's
We'll allow you that.
fading into history. It's all about May the 18th now. All about Chris Gale at the moment here, isn't it, Grubby?
Yeah, well, he's done his little playing himself in trick, and yeah, I was just saying before you came in the room there that I was a bit surprised that Berendorf continued there rather than bring a new bowler on, give him something else to think about. But there we go. Easy to be wise after the event.
And I think it's going to be Kale Rahul who's therefore going to be facing, as I doubt that Chris Gale scampered a quick single off the last over. He's going to be facing Jasprit Bumrah, who with his hop, skip and a jump, his right arm over and in and worked off his legs into the mid-wicket area by Kale Rahul. Bit of a misfield, and they will take an easy single to bring Gale back onto strike.
Rene Keita says, I pity Alzari Joseph. People would expect him to take 6 wickets every time he comes on. I know, exactly. Once you start like that, there's only one way to go, isn't there?
He's already conceded 9.
Absolutely.
He's rubbish.
Yeah, and
Good Lord, he's having a shocker today then.
Ravi, who's playing this game on his own, I'm afraid, Rob says, given your feelings, perhaps a disclaimer, at Sutton Not Savage.
Oh, okay.
Sutton Not Savage,
Sutton
okay.
Not Savage.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about football there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind Savage. I don't mind him as much. Obviously, former Leicester City player, so that ticks a box.
Oh,
Is that your team?
That's my team. Yeah.
Well, good for you. Everyone's favourite second team for a little while.
Talk to me about 2016. I mean, just very briefly.
Probably the greatest moment of my life.
It's certainly
There it
the
is.
greatest sporting upset
Absolutely.
ever in any
Yeah.
sport anywhere in the world.
But the thing
I
is that had England won the World Cup in the summer, I'd have just had to retire as a football fan.
We did beat you at Vicarage Road this season, fairly recently.
I was there.
As Bumrah's in, and Chris Gale's more than happy to leave this through to the wicket-keeper. Kale Rahul, of course, has an average of something like 94.5 of playing for KXP against Mumbai. So you know the track record would suggest he might be in the runs today, but it is Gale very much who is leading the charge at the moment.
They've been typically quite evenly matched, these two. I think they played 23 times in the IPL, and it's like 12-11 to Mumbai Indians, I think. So there we are.
I will just let Tony have his moment. I've been to Vicarage Road twice. One was the
Yeah.
Deeney game, the playoff game,
of course.
and the other one was this
hold on,
season.
Bumrah's in. That's worked off his hip by Chris Gale down to, well, where fine leg would have been. It is hunted down. They will surprisingly, well, most people would have turned that into 2. I don't think Chris Gale is in the mood. 3-3-3, glittering on his back. And most of those he doesn't get by running quick singles, does he?
He didn't even for one moment entertain the second run there.
I don't think he did.
Not
It's
for a second.
45 without loss. The Kings 11 Punjab. And we're halfway through the 6 over. Chris Gale's strike rate bumbling along at around 185 at the moment. He's got 26 off 14 balls. and a boundary percentage of 85%, which does suggest he's not exercising the legs. He's using those long levers to lift the ball out above the Wankaday turf. In comes Bumrah, onto the back foot goes KL Rahul. That's a nice shot, actually. Just gently manoeuvring that between cover and extra cover all the way along the ground. A classic cricket shot for 4 runs.
That's the second one of those he's played onto the back foot and driven. As you say, a classic, a PCS, proper cricket shot.
A PCS. Bumrah was trying, I think, to sort of roll his fingers across that. He got some little bit of inward movement to the right-handed KL Rahul, but it was just a beautifully executed strike. Bumrah's in again, hands clasped together, and this one is a good ball, right on a length. KL Rahul again is on the back foot, dabbing it down to third man, and they will take another single. So we've had 7 from the over so far, 1 ball left. Not quite the fireworks from that Jason Berendorf bowling to Chris Gale lit, but nonetheless good progress indeed.
Good solid base, 50s up as well.
K11 Punjab, yeah. Both sides, I think, didn't both sides beat the Sunrisers Hyderabad last time out in their games?
Yeah, yeah.
So they seem to be warming up by beating the same team, which I think always sets up an interesting contest. In comes Bumrah again, drops that one short actually, and that one is across Chris Gale into the gloves of the wicketkeeper, and we didn't play a full shot at it, but I think he left it. But it just came onto him, I think, Rob, a little bit quicker than he might have been expecting there.
Yeah,
it's not a bad ball at all.
It's been. I think this is the sort of pitch that some have gone through really quickly, and some have just died a little bit. So it's a bit. It's not the easiest one to read, I think, from a batsman, but the Kings 11 will be very pleased to get through the first 6 without losing a wicket. Always a sign of a good power play, that.
Well, I think so, and I keep saying the wicketkeeper. Of course, it'll be Quentin de Kock today,
it will
won't
be,
it?
yes.
It will indeed. It will indeed. I saw most of the first. I was sort of otherwise engaged doing bits and pieces, but any early swing?
I didn't notice any, did you, Rob?
No, very little. Just good, accurate bowling, to be honest, in the first couple of overs from Berendorf and Bumrah, but now these two have got into their stride, it's looking a bit dangerous, I would suggest.
Well, the seaside location of the Wankaday sometimes supports a bit of swing early on, doesn't it? But obviously this is a day-night game. I don't know whether that will impact that. I just wonder if that had been true.
There's not been much swing in the whole tournament, to be honest.
Well, no, indeed. The last 2 overs from this end could have elicited 30 runs and no wickets, obviously. But we are going to see, well, the IPL's bowling man at the moment, really, but he's none to 10 today, Alzari Joseph. He's rolling his shoulders, and in he comes now. Drops that on leg, wide and KL Rahul was trying to flick it down leg, didn't get any bat on it. It was through to Quentin de Kock, and but it will be wides, of course.
Wide. Now, lads, I've got a very important question for you. Would you say that Gale and KL rhyme?
Gale and Kale.
Kale does.
As in KL.
If you say
Rahul.
Kale quickly, like as in JJ or the vegetable.
Yeah, as in JJ, yeah.
And call it Kale.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. You could be made to rhyme. They're sort of Dylan-esque manufactured rhyme you could get away with. As that is pushed away into the onside, they won't run.
I know our friend...
Resounding no from Chris Gale. I don't think I'm running that.
Barely needs to say it, does he? Our friend Fred Titmus has very strong views on this, and things that rhyme.
He has strong views on most things, to be honest.
Yeah, like rhyming is right up there.
In fact, I'm sure if I went to Fred's house, there'd be no fences anywhere because he never has a need to sit on one.
So anyway, our friend Short Third Man says these openers have names that rhyme. Has any other team ever had that? Maybe with that for a moment.
What a good thought! What an interesting question. I'd be very interested to know what people think of this one. Short and Alzari Joseph. Well, that 6 for 12 might be looking a long way away now because he's just been thumped over mid-wicket into the stands, and 200. That's the 275th 6 so far, and we're only, what did we say, a third of the way through the IPL. KL Rahul was onto that like a flash to pull it away over mid-wicket.
Violent, that he absolutely threw the kitchen sink at it and timed it pretty well as well.
Didn't he? Ravishing Rahul, it says on the scoreboard. 57 without loss. We're in the 7th over. KL Rahul's strike rate, well, he's over 16 to 20, 194. This one he's lifted up and over, extra cover, and it's 4 more. What a super shot that was.
1, 2, 3, 4, keep it up. 2, 3, 4, up. 2, 3, 4, keep it up. 2, 3, 4.
A very attractive batsman to watch, isn't he, when he gets going, Rahul?
Oh, very much so.
And that
Very much. He's been, well, didn't he, was it 71 not out in the last game against the Sunrisers?
Only got 70 odd when these two played earlier in the tournament
Yeah,
as well.
he did. He's been their most consistent run scorer, well, for this IPL, for sure. He's been in excellent nick. As Alzari Joseph is in now and drops this again. He's straying slightly onto leg. It's worked away to mid-wicket. An attempted diving stop that didn't quite come off, but it did enough to put, well, at least one of the batsmen off any idea of running a single.
Just had a thought on the rhyming openers.
Yeah.
England could name Wokes, Folkes and Stokes.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
yes,
they're not
very
opening,
good.
but absolutely
well,
right.
We might as well just let's
you're
have a laugh.
absolutely right.
Let's open with Stokes. Let's open with Stokes and Wokes.
Just for the comedy value.
Yeah.
I'd be doing that.
That would be fun.
And also back to short third man's one. Funny enough, we were talking next door, weren't we, before the game started, about because we have the splendidly named Ishan Kishan in the Mumbai Indians team.
In comes Alzari Joseph. This is punched straight down through to long on, and they will take a single. So we've 11 plus a wide off this over, 12 so far off the over. Yes, he's conceded more in this one over, has Alzari Joseph, than obviously he did in his last time out in 4. And obviously he doesn't have any wickets to his name either. So what a cruel game cricket can be. It can lift you up to the absolute pinnacle of ecstasy and top level performance, and then it can just smack you round the chops just to keep you level-headed. 62 without loss. We have 1 ball left of this 7th over. I'm fascinated by the rhyming partnerships. I'm sure some people can come up with others.
All the rhyming sports people.
Brains.
So the Paul Hall I mentioned, who
Paul
was a
Hall,
footballer,
one name,
applied his trade in the lower leagues, I think.
I remember. In comes Alzari Joseph to Chris Gale. Chris Gale actually just eases that away and does take a quick single, and I think he's feeling a bit left out after that over from KL Rahul. So he has run a quick single to pinch the strike, and wants to see if he can tuck in to whoever's bowling next. I suspect it may not be Berendorf.
Short third man, picking up on another point we were discussing recently, says, were the white balls from the late 1990s to early 2000s made differently from the ones today? Because I distinctly remember, he says, bowlers of that time swinging the white ball far more than what we see today.
Do you know what? So do I. I mean, the other thing I think that's changed is the bats have got bigger, fatter, heavier. So I think you know, there is always that debate. Is they changed
the
game favouring the batsman.
They changed the ball manufacturer for the white ball, maybe. That might have been a factor.
I mean, if I were in charge of these things, I would insist on the tech boffins coming up with a white ball that behaves as closely as possible to the red ball.
That would be your first thing. If you ruled the world, that would be your first thing to do.
It's
with
top of my list. So never mind world peace and starvation and stuff. It would be getting cricket balls correct.
Quite right too. Well, everything else, if you get that right, everything else can follow.
It falls into place.
It all just falls into place. Who was it? If I ruled the world, every day would be the first week. Harry Seacombe, wasn't it? Dear God.
You've fallen in the water, etc. You're welcome to the 1950s.
Again.
Tony Cork wants to rechristen this tournament the Interminably Prolonged League. I like it.
Oh, okay. We
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
We've been looking for alternative names. Oh, I thought you had another one there.
No.
Oh, that was it?
Just one.
Oh, well, okay.
It was a family of one.
It was a
that reminds me.
Okay.
You know, Tony Green, the darts commentator, he was talking about one of the callers, Georgie Noble. He said, there he is, Georgie Noble, known as the puppy, although he's no longer a puppy because his wife has just given birth to a litter of one.
Oh, my
Best thing
favourite.
he's ever said.
Oh, he's not quite up with the Sid Waddell League, though, is
No,
he?
well, no one is really.
The best of all had to be, there's only one word for that. Magic darts.
We could now go on a Sid Waddell tip.
Yeah.
Let me offer to you, his eyes are bulging like the belly of a hungry chaffinch.
Did you ever see the game that Sid Waddell did with Stephen Fry? That
Yes.
one time?
Oh, that would have been fun.
It was
really
brilliant.
good.
It was
Goodness me.
fantastic.
Goodness
And
me.
at one point, Stephen Fry said, "Oh, I'm as happy as a pig in Chardonnay."
A piggish.
They introduced it because obviously Sid went to Cambridge and so
Yes.
did Stephen Fry,
Yes.
and then they had Rodney Harrington there. I can't
Oh,
remember what he said.
University of Life.
University of Life. That was it.
There is loads of interesting ways of people saying they're happy. Who was it? Oh, Ian Holloway. Do you remember the Queen's Park Rangers? I remember him once saying, I don't know if he was QPR manager at the time, but they'd just beaten someone and he said, I'm as happy as a badger in mating season. Why particularly it was a badger, I have literally no idea, but that was the animal of choice for him.
The best Holloway one was they had a I think he was at Blackpool at the time. They had a scrappy 1-0, and he was like, "Well, we went home with a bird, but he wasn't. She wasn't the most best looking, but at least we've gone home in a taxi with her.
And we've had some coffee or something. We've gone in for coffee.
Anyway, we're going to have a change of bowling. It's 63 without loss. The Kings 11 Punjab. And who are we going to be seeing? It's Rahul Chahar, not Chahal, but Chahar, who I trust we do have a jingle for. I'm sure we do. Well, here he is.
Maybe you have a dream of bowling the perfect ball, winning the vital game, but when you wake up, you're Rahul Chahar.
He's going to be bowling to the Universal boss, who has a scent of it today, I think. He's in the mood.
Yeah, leggy bowling to him, so that leg side will be looking attractive. Get his lengths right.
Yeah.
I think this is his first season, isn't it, Chahar, in the IPL?
Run rate of 9, I think. I'm assuming that relates to his T20 career, which is pretty expensive, actually, to be fair.
Oh, hang on a second.
And he's dropped that down leg, and Chris Gale actually got something on that to tickle it down to kind of a fly slip, I suppose. So it won't be given as a wide, will it, if he puts a bat on it? No, it won't.
No.
Yeah, the run rate was to do with this game, by the way, because they were 63 from 7 overs.
Chahal is in again. This one's a good ball. Gale's having a little look at him, just steps onto the back foot, eases him away to extra cover, and does a strolled run.
It was a saunter.
It was the... if you'd have had a walking stick, he'd have been leaning on it, and maybe a pair of binoculars and a bit of bird spotting on the way. He literally...
I can see him dressed as a country gent with his, barber and his flat cap and a walking stick.
Like Chris Eubank.
A shooting stick.
Yeah, shooting stick. Well, shooting stick, that's the word I was looking at. Yeah, it was. That was a Sunday afternoon towards the village green, wasn't it? Not a belligerent intent. Anyway, it brings KL Rahul, the man of the moment, back onto strike. In comes Chahar, I beg his pardon, and that's whipped away to mid-wicket, beautifully off his legs for 4 more.
You gotta have fun, you gotta have fun to
So much to enjoy in that shot.
Well, it was quite hittable though. I mean, it was on a perfect length. It didn't really move much, and Rahul just leant forward and whipped it away, didn't he?
Well, it was against the spin, but he's placed it beautifully between long on and deep mid wicket. That's a beautiful shot, whipped away.
In comes Chahar. And this one, similar spot. Again, it was a googly, I think, wasn't it, that particular time round? But it was away to deep extra cover. They will take a single.
KL Rahul's one of those batsmen that doesn't seem to do a lot, and then all of a sudden he's 40 not out.
Yes, that's always what we say about Joe Root, isn't it? He seems to get to 50 by stealth, and you suddenly look up and you go, how did he get to 48 or whatever he's on? In comes Chahar. That one again does turn actually to the left-handed Gale, and Gale was looking to work it away into the leg and was also a bit too quick for him. So Chahar's gone for 6 so far, but he has managed to squeeze in 2 dot balls as well. He's got the Universal boss in his sights, and Gale reaches forward, but it goes straight to backward point, and there is no run.
Decent over.
So that is a decent over. In fact, in the context of what's gone before, not a bad over at all. 69 without loss.
In fact, his economy rate 6.9 in this season, and therefore his entire IPL career. Rahul Anantaraman about the balls says yes, they were Kookaburra balls now. They are Kookaburra balls now, and they were Dukes earlier, so that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Then Ravi says, do all bad things in cricket come from Australia? Come on, England, don't let them win the bad boy Ashes. What have we done since Jardine, damn it? Our politicians are boasting about being perfidious Albion, but our cricketers are not being patriotic enough. And that is attached to...
Stuart Broad not walking? Surely that's an act of some defiance, for which he's
yeah, exactly.
been lovingly remembered just about every time he plays Australia.
And rightly so. It was a shocking piece of cheating. But anyway,
it was. At the end of the day.
That's just the way the game is played, and that was a blatant one.
Kieran Pollard, he's a slightly portly Pollard these days. Is it just my imagination? But he's put on a bit of timber, I reckon. I mean, he's always a big fella. Anyway, Hardik Pandya is back into the attack.
No sooner called for.
Indeed.
Breaking news. And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
Hardik Pandya is in and hurries up that shot from KL Rahul, but he dabs the ball back down on it. It's pushed away into the offside. They will take a single, and Chris Gale will be back on strike.
And short third man, as if to answer your request, just before that bowling change, said the contest I'm looking forward to is KL versus Hardik.
Well,
and then
here we go.
And then refers to that unsavoury incident they were both involved with a few months back. And apparently KL was feeling a bit hard done by as he didn't do anything.
Oh, yes. You might have to refresh my memory on what happened there.
Oh, they made some unsavoury comments about women, attitudes to women. And
oh God! Yes,
widely reported on a chat show. I think.
Then yes, I was thinking. I was thinking of a playing incident, and I realised it wasn't a playing incident. It was the off-field stuff. You're absolutely right. Anyway, current run rate is 8.57. So they're going nicely. We're the one ball into the 9th over. Chris Gale is going to be facing Hardik Pandya. He stands ready. Pandya's in, drops that short. Gale's quickly onto it, lifts it away over square leg. There's nobody going to be chasing that except a lady or gentleman, probably in the 2nd tier, 4 or 5 rows up. That's gone. And it gets the cheerleaders up and manoeuvring, not necessarily synchronised, but nonetheless there was some movement.
It's been one of the pet hates of the games I've done so far. We've discussed at length the appalling standard of cheerleading in this tournament.
I think we've all been berating the lack of choreography. It's all rather sad, isn't it?
The dancing equivalent of Eric Morecambe playing Grieg's piano concerto.
Well, to be fair, he could dance.
No, I'm talking about that particular one with with Andrew Preview.
Oh, Mr. Preview.
I'm playing all the right notes, not necessarily in the right order. And it's like I'm doing all the right dance steps, not necessarily in the right order or in sync with you or you.
Oh, absolutely.
Takes some doing for all three of them to be out of sync with each other, doesn't it? But they manage it on a regular basis.
They must be given just sort of a loose set of guidelines, and then every so often they all follow the same set of guidelines and end up with something vaguely resembling a dance. Anyway, Chris Gale stands ready. He's going to be facing Hardik Pandya. Pandya's in. That's on off stump, and it's crunched back past him all the way along the ground through where there wasn't a long on, and even if there had been, he'd have had to be pretty quick. It was a terrific fall. For a ball of foolish length, actually, and Gale just stood and thundered it back. First bounce past Pandya. He thrust an arm in its general direction.
Oh dear, I missed it. Never mind.
Yeah, in comes Pandya again. That's a horrible ball. It's Quinton de Kock. No, that was always going to be a wide, Grubby.
That previous fall was hit as hard as Troy Deeney's penalty on Sunday.
Oh, he leathered that. The goalkeeper got horribly close to it, actually, but even if he'd
taken his hand off,
it probably would have taken his hand off. I think we were never in any doubt what Troy was going to do. He wasn't going to die wondering on it.
No, and you were behind that goal, were you?
I was, yeah. I was behind that
very
goal.
Nice.
Anyway, 6 fours and 6 sixes so far. 81 without loss. We're halfway through the 9th over. That 9th over is being bowled by Hardik Pandya. He's in now, and Gale climbs into that. It's a way between cover and extra cover, and it's 4 more. He is right in the mood today.
4. Good God, yeah.
Goodness me, what a shot. 85.
Sorry, Tone. A new tweeter, at least to me, with an excellent name, looking for alternative names, Rob.
Oh, good.
Biff Jerky.
Biff Jerky!
In response to Ravi talking about let's not lose the bad boy ashes, says Jimmy Anderson shredded a picture of Ravi Ashwin, so I think you'll find the bad boy ashes are in the bag, if not the waste paper bin.
Well, we're looking at the moment, we're watching Jasprit Bumrah, who's got an arm around Hardik Pandya, and I think he might just be offering him a little bit of encouragement, given the leathering he's taken in this over at the hands of predominantly Chris Gale, whose strike rate now is 182.6. And this over has gone for 10, 14, 15 plus a wide 16.
Ravi is reluctantly writing a note on this particular game.
Oh, right.
Saying, I don't think Mumbai Indians will be able to chase anything over 180, whereas Kings 11 appear to be going at 200 plus pace. Yeah, if that's true, then they certainly are in a
need a breakthrough.
big trouble.
I think the Mumbai absolutely need a breakthrough because these two are just right in the mood. Oh, that's another awful delivery by Hardik Pandya. It'll be another wide. You can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to just push it kind of out of Gale's arc, really. But he's overdoing it. Kieran Pollard is waving his arms around. He's doing that kind of pointing that football managers do when you're actually not quite sure what he's trying to signal, but he's looking busy.
Yeah.
As things are going sort of quite unpleasantly against him, really, right now, aren't they?
I don't know if he was saying, have a rest after this one, Hardik, son.
Well, he's going to run out of options. He's already got Berendorf, who's been sent away to recover from a mauling. And he's done it again. I think he may just have got away with that, and I think, to be fair, that is what he's been trying the previous two. So two have gone for a wide. That one he just a bit. It's a risky strategy.
It is such a narrow
margin. You really
margin.
have to get it spot on, don't you? But this one he did. Gale was thinking that's way too wide to hit, but it was within the wide tram line.
I mean, if he can be accurate enough, it's a perfectly viable tactic against Chris Gale, because he's normally his weight is just ever so slightly on his heels, if you know what I mean, looking for those big leg side shots.
Gale's bat is held aloft. We have a slip in place, actually. And again, that one, Gale stands tall, just punches it into the offside. They don't take a run. So a moral victory of sorts for Hardik, who's gone for 17 off his first over. 86 without loss are Kings 11 Punjab.
Yeah, going really well. All quiet on the Twitter front, so do get involved if you can think of other rhyming sports people like Paul Hall and Ishan Kishan. Or if you've got any other suggestions for our friend Rob Sutton's alternative Twitter handle. We've had Rob Croydon, amongst others.
Or just anywhere in southeast London.
Yeah.
There's a few
Merton.
places.
Oh no, someone's already done that, haven't they? Paul Merton. He's already taken Merton as a name.
Is anyone out there called Sydenham, I wonder?
I used to know a guy called Sydenham. In fact, he was the previous boyfriend of a girl I went out with. He was a right arsehole.
Oh, I see. he's on your tree.
But I remember his name was Roger Sydenham. And I think, bizarrely, I know he was in the printing trade, and I have a funny feeling he came from somewhere near Sydenham as well.
Roger Sydenham from the printing trade. If you're listening, Roger, Tony's got one or two things he'd like to square up with you.
Yeah. No, I think I only met him once, and then that was a relationship with a particular lady didn't end particularly well.
Was it civil at best when you met him?
All right. Oh no, yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, there was one of those. Oh, and that's an interesting delivery by Chahar. Gave it plenty of air. And K.L. Rahul was looking. Was that the reverse sweep he was pulling out there, or just say it was a reverse sweep?
Premeditated, wasn't it? It was almost sort of Yorker length.
He did, and he never really got hold of it, but he sort of caught the thigh of Quinton de Kock, which then lifted it up over his gloves, and they will have got a leg by, I would imagine. Which we do have a jingle for, but you don't have to worry about now. But just so you do know, there are leg buys.
We do
in the jingle dishes. You will be able to find them.
I have.
Okay.
But spinners, it's hard to get him in.
Well, exactly. In comes Chahar. Oh, Gale again strokes that away to point. Or I think it's Hardik who does the fielding, actually. Oh, no, it's Jasperit. And quite tidily he did. So Gale stands his ground and doesn't run.
Shashidhar Gowda sends us a...
What's his name?
Shashidhar Gowda.
Gowda.
G-O-W-D.
Oh, that was an interesting ball by Chahar. And again, it rather hurried Gale up. He was looking to pull it away to the onside, and it just came on him too quickly. So well bowled Chahar. He's just given away one run off the first three balls of this 10th over. Certainly wickets are needed by Mumbai, but that's at least. And again, that's he's a big shout there, but I think I'm possibly too high, possibly going down leg, and I'm not entirely sure it pitched in line.
Yeah.
So
pitched outside leg, I reckon.
Apart from that, it was
apart from that, it was as plumb as you could ask for.
Wisely not reviewing that, I think.
Well, gosh, yeah. Goodness help us all if they reviewed that one. In comes Chahar again, who's bowling beautifully, and it was past the outside edge of Gale. Quinton de Kock was lightning fast to whip off the bails, but Gale hadn't ventured out of his ground. But Chahar has now come into the party, and he's really put the brakes on. Gale, I'm not sure what Gale wanted to do there. Do you think he was that a studied leave, or was he beaten? This one he's climbed into, though. He's thought, well, okay, I'm not going to have any more of this. He has just lofted that over long off for 6 more. You sexy thing. And as soon as the sexy thing comes on, it's none other than the bear. Sexy as they come.
The best things in life are free. Just like gorilla commentary, we need money. That's what I want. We need money. I don't like the BBC. I prefer gorilla commentary. I want money. $20 for the archive. That's what I want.
Yeah, man. So it's 93 without loss after 10 overs for the Kings 11. Going at a fair old lick. Both KL Rahul and Chris Gale really into their strides. Both of them have over 40 runs. This is going to take some pegging back, I think, by Mumbai Indians. You're listening to Guerrilla Cricket's coverage of this game between Kings 11 and Mumbai Indians from the Wankhede Stadium. The Bear has slipped effortlessly into the jingle chair. Hello, Bear.
Hello there, Grubby.
And Abdullah has joined us on the tweet seats. Hello, Abdullah.
Afternoon, everyone.
Good to see you. Now, we've got a change of bowling. Tell you about that in just a moment. Rahul goes back in his crease and plays it with a straight bat through extra cover towards the boundary, and he gets another run that moves on to 48. To 43, I beg your pardon. Gale is on 48. Yes, so we have had a change of bowling, and it is who's come on?
The left arm spinner, Pandya, Krunal.
Krunal Pandya's come on. Thanks, Abdullah. Two brothers, obviously, in this, Krunal and Hardik. Pandya, the Pandya boys.
Gale would fancy taking him on, won't he?
Oh yes, he will. He's going to come round the wicket. The left armour to the left-hander, and he just goes back in his crease. Really agricultural, but it just sat up for him, and he swats it straight back over the bowler's head into the second tier for another maximum, and it's 100 up.
That was truly agricultural.
Yeah, but who cares? He's gone past his 50 as well with that massive blow. And watch out, Mumbai, because Chris Gale has certainly played himself in, and he's got the bit between his teeth and the taste of blood in his nostrils.
I went over 71.5 for Chris Gale.
Did you?
11 to 10.
Skinny, isn't it?
No, that was only about 5 runs.
Oh, okay, it's a fuller ball this time on the crease, driven up to long off by Gale. Trots through for, can't really call it a run, can we call it a walk?
Yeah. The last game, man, I had, I think it was Sunrisers to get under 149.5, right? With 3 balls to go, it was looking a dead cert. 4-4, needed 6 off the last ball. What do you do?
And they got it. I was listening in at that moment.
I was so upset.
In fact, I got a feeling my family were milling around me, and I had to very quickly turn the volume down. And down the wicket comes Rahul. He hasn't quite got to this one. It skews away over extra cover. 2 men converge on it, but they can't get there before it bounces. And Rahul is through for a rather streaky couple there. We're mystifyingly, we've got a sort of an in-over ad that appeared on the screen there.
They'd do anything out there, wouldn't it?
It's like the Wild West.
It is. They're looking for a big score here, aren't they? 215, 220 from here.
Could do from here, couldn't they? It's a little lap sweep attempted this time by KL Rahul, but not for the first time in the over. He doesn't time it at all. In fact, he toe ends it rather as he attempts a lap sweep, and it's fielded in the short. In fact, it's right on the toe end, wasn't it? Couldn't do that again if you tried, I reckon.
No.
It's like a snooker shot. No runs. 103 without loss. 1 ball left in the 11th over. And Krunal once more is going to come round the wicket, I think. Yeah, around the wicket to the right-handed KL Rahul, who attempts a wristy swat through the offside, but rather done for pace there, and it's through to the keeper. No run. 103 without loss it remains after 11.
That was very flat, wasn't it? Very flat and wide.
Got any tweets there, Abdullah?
Biff Jerky.
Good name, that, isn't it? I like that.
He likes the look of that jingle that was played out. I'm not sure which one he's referring to.
You have to tell us.
The latest one, just a minute ago.
What was the last thing you played? Goldfish memory.
That was the switch over Patreon music. Money. Give us some money. Yeah. Give us some cash.
And do.
So do give us some money.
I mean, don't just enjoy the jingles, actually heed their words.
And you can actually get them if you go to the website and join up and get the archive.
20 quid for a whole year. Hundreds and hundreds of bits of audio, including all of our commentaries since 2014, including the how many jingles did you say
That
last
was about
count?
1,300 jingles.
1,300 jingles, including all your favourites and some that you don't like.
And some oldies and boldies in
exactly.
there too.
If you want to hear about Graham Swan wanting to be on the telly, then that's where you'll find it. This is smacked over long on by Chris Gale. He went down on one knee and levered it straight back over Chahar's head, who started a new over. The first ball's gone for a big 6.
It's a 6. It's beautiful and it's mine.
Chahar again. This time he has Gale going back in his crease and just chopping it down to backward point. And they come through for what is, for Chris Gale at least, a pretty sharp single. But it was KL Rahul running to what might have been the danger end, and they're through pretty comfortably. Now, Gale, I forget how many 6s he's hit in his IPL career, but it's about 200 more than anyone else.
Oh, yes.
You know, we talk about records, that one will never be broken. That one will absolutely take some beating. He just hits them for fun, doesn't he?
He does.
Effortless, big, strong lad, times the ball well, great hand-eye coordination. And another one that we'll miss him when he's gone after this the World Cup.
He's on his testimonial year, really, isn't he? He's been running around the world.
I think he's doing a few benefit gigs.
I doubt it. This is his benefit, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not badly paid, I should imagine.
And he's actually, what I like about it, he's thought, I'm giving up this year. He's actually put some effort into it as well, hasn't he?
Rahul comes down the track and plays it with a straight bat. It's fielded at short extra cover, and a rare and valuable dot ball for the Indians.
I mean, so often with Gale, you've seen him get some huge score at the beginning of a series or whatever, and you think, oh wow, he's going to go on, and then he just fritters out and seems to. So I've done it now. I'm just going to chill out.
Can be a bit all or nothing. This is pushed square of the wicket on the offside by Rahul. Once more, they're going to come back for 2. That won't please Gale, will it? As he had to break into a trot.
He didn't like that at all, did he? And you know. And this year against England, he scored, 2-3 tons in those ODIs?
He was electric.
And he was electric.
Yeah.
So he's stuck at it.
He's been just a unique character in the game overall, really, isn't he? Rahul goes back in his crease once more, finds that man at short extra cover, who I think is skipper Pollard. Once more, it's a dot ball. 1 ball left in the 12th over, after which we shall double the score to predict what we'll get after 20.
Wow.
It's 112 without loss at the moment. Rahul is unbeaten on 47 from 37 deliveries. Gale at the other end has 62. So Gale will be facing up to Chahar to round out this 12th over. That's a full delivery, flighted in towards leg stump, and it's clipped off his pads. Rahul will nick the strike off Gale. That won't please him either, but that is the end of the over. 113 without loss, so I'm going to predict 226 as the 20 over score.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 230.
We know Mumbai is a high scoring ground. We saw that in that last World T20 with a couple of big chases. West Indies in that semi-final. England chased a big score against South Africa.
Oh yeah,
ground,
that was amazing. We chased 230.
230 odd.
So it is a batting paradise, isn't it? Based on
and
what we've seen over recent years.
They put the average first innings score up earlier, and it was 175, which on all of those bits of evidence you think, well, actually maybe that's slightly lower than you might expect, but still 175 is on the high side. For average first innings score in the IPL. We've seen some much slower pitches. You've been covering lots of these games, Bear.
Yeah,
seen some sort of slow, low dust bowls, haven't we?
Yeah, really. But I haven't really turned much. It's just that it's never come onto the bat particularly, and people find it hard to pick up.
Yeah,
but then you often find the teams get chased with 130 to 150. They can quite easily pace it, even though the wicket's quite hard. And most of the time, it may get to the last over. They look like they've pretty much cruised it in the end.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see a few fireworks later on from the likes of Quinton de Kock. The new boy, Sidesh Ladd. I don't know much about him, but hopefully we can see what he's got to offer. Now we have a change of bowling. We've got the tall Australian coming back, the stretched Steve Smith coming round the wicket, the left armour, spearing one in at towards leg stump and a bit down leg side. KL Rahul just lays a bat on it, and the ball rolls out to the 45, and he takes his 49th run.
Here he is.
Isn't it lovely? Isn't it nice? Luring in the baton with balls that entice. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it nice? Like luring in a pervert with a glimpse of my tights. Chasing Berendorf. Chasing Berendorf.
Like luring in a pervert with a glimpse of my tights. Was that Mog by any chance?
It was Mog. Of course it was Mog.
Thank you, Mog. You
Thanks,
really
Mog.
made the Bears' day with that little
you do.
piece of lyrical genius. Behrendorff starting his final over of his 4-over spell. He has rather unflattering figures of 0 for 32, having bowled 1 ball of that final over. Pollard's making some adjustments to the field, conducting traffic. That gold lame still looks horrible.
Yeah.
Some things don't change.
I think this is the one team I haven't seen so far, the Mumbai Indians, actually, in this tournament.
So here comes Behrendorff over the wicket to the left-handed Gale. Gale gets a full ball. He tries to smash that over long on, doesn't time it, and the ball rolls to long on, and it's fielded there. Bit of a bone shaker that from Chris Gale, I think. Just a single for him this time.
So Chris Gale on course for 3 figures. I remember him getting a century on this ground against England in that World T20 in that group game. Not the final, the group game.
Yeah, that's one they beat us, didn't they?
Yes, West Indies chased it down in that game as well.
And then he was out in the first over, wasn't he, to Joe Root in the final. In the final, which we all know how that ended.
I think Otis Gibson had something to do with introducing Joe Root early on.
Yeah, he's a great lad, Otis Gibson. England were lucky. Who's he working for now, Otis?
South Africa.
South Africa, thank you. A shorter ball and down the leg side. I suspect if KL Rahul hadn't got a little glovey underedge on that, it would have been given a wide. But he did get that little glovey underedge and fielded by de Kock, and there's no run.
Staying with Otis Gibson, he is interested in taking over from Trevor Bayliss after this summer. He's openly admitted that, so he'll be applying.
Has he had a head coach role before? And obviously he's been bowling coach.
Currently with South Africa, so he's had that experience.
Is he head coach there? I beg his pardon. I mean, I like him a lot. I mean, there's another guy Gary Kirsten, who's in this tournament, but his star's rather in the descendancy, I think, being coach of the RCBs. This is a sharp single. KL Rahul just stroking it to extra cover. Gale accedes to his request for that sharp single, and KL Rahul reaches his 50.
Well done, sir. I'll give him a little jingle.
41 deliveries. Gale 63 off 35.
50 runs, your 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done. 50 runs, your 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
Well, we should ask Gorilla South Africa what they think of Otis Gibson. I don't think they're particularly very happy with him,
I don't know. I was just thinking they're playing.
Don't retire hurt, for fuck's sake.
Oh, Gale down on his haunches. And Rahul looks on, a bit concerned for his teammate and batting partner. It looks he's moving even more, in even more laboured fashion than he normally does. I don't know whether he's got some muscular problem, a little tweak in the back of his leg, perhaps. He looked very, very leaden-footed, even for him. Anyway, we've gone to another commercial break. Anyway, we're just looking at a miniature package of some of Rahul's shots. I've really enjoyed watching him bat today. He's played a couple of gorgeous back foot straight batted drives through the offside, and then one shot I particularly enjoyed where he just sort of took a big stride forward and lofted it, and it, over long off. Really attractive to watch, and his timing's been, for the most part, great today. So I've enjoyed that.
He'll be hoping he's in the 15-man squad. India announced their squad on Monday for the upcoming World Cup in England.
He wouldn't be a shoo-in, would he? He's not what you'd call, they've got quite a few batsmen ahead of him in the pecking order when it comes to the white ball game, India. Embarrassment of riches almost. But yeah, he's staking a late claim here, you'd say. Anyway, this unforeseen break continues. We've had 4 balls of the 13th over. The score is 116 without loss. And we're just having, I don't know whether he's got someone on the field, a physio or a trainer or something, Gale, but there's certainly a possibility that he is crocked. Or maybe it's just a ruse so he doesn't have to field. I don't know.
I bloody better not be. I've got him over 71.5. What happens if he goes off for tired hurt? Do I get my money back? Or do they take it off me, the bastard?
It would be the equivalent of him being not out, would it? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. He is not out, isn't he? I mean, that's what I mean. What do they do? Well, he seems to be staying out there anyway. Maybe he's just going to try and flat bat it now.
Yeah, so not much change there then.
No.
Play a normal game, Chris.
Maybe he got hit by the ball, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it was the second of those 2 runs.
Where's Malinga?
Not playing today. He can't get back in the side because Alzara Joseph took those 6 for 12 in the last. They do have a pretty decent set of seam bowling options, don't they? The Indians.
And here's one of them. It's Jason Berendorf over the wicket. There is Gale. He does try and flat bat it. It's over the leg side. He's going to be caught.
You bastard.
Caught at cow corner, attempting to loft it over for another 6. Didn't get it all, and he lasted but one ball post that unscheduled break, and he's gone for 63. Bad luck there.
All of the dreams that I dreamed were mine are going, gone.
Yeah, he went back in his crease, had made his mind up, I think, in quite premeditated fashion that he was going to try and loft it over the leg side. But it was his undoing. Very entertaining innings, nevertheless. 63 from just 36 deliveries. That is a better strike rate than his career IPL strike rate. His career IPL strike rate at the start of this game was 151. So even for him, he's scored his runs at a pretty good lick today. Anything on the tweets there, Abdullah?
Yes, of course. The Wisden Almanac's been released today.
Yes, it has.
And Biff Jerky, not been listening long, so worry if you've spoken about this, but the Wisden editor has said today the 100 is like a sword of Damocles
yep.
over the English formats.
Yeah.
And the only people with any enthusiasm for it are the ECB. Any thoughts, gents?
Well, we've talked about that endlessly, and I'm in agreement with the man there. I think it's a waste of time, but
it's also the hotly anticipated Wisden 5 cricketers of the year, and I know that Virat Kohli is one of them. I was actually surprised that he hadn't been in that list in previous years, but obviously he hadn't. But
we're supposed to get a mention in that, aren't we?
Apparently, yeah. Well, in the top 5 cricketers of the year.
No, not in the top 5. Well, obviously me.
In the almanac, yes. And little Sammy Curran is also one of the 5. I don't know who the other 3 are.
Yes, I can let you know. Rory Burns.
Oh, yeah.
He won't get it.
What's his name? Tammy Beaumont, the England Open.
I love Tammy Beaumont. That's excellent news.
There's one more. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you, though. Filling in some of those gaps. Now we've got a man who's been promoted up the order today.
Oh, he gives us
such
some
a stonking start by his opening teammates. It is.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Joss Butler. Joss Butler.
Oh, Joss Butler. Oh, that makes me so happy.
No, it's not. Come on, where are you? There you are.
Joss Butler's the 5th in the 5, is what you're saying.
Next is a real life wine. David Miller.
So it's left-hander replacing left-hander, and Miller steers his first ball through mid-wicket and takes a single, and also the strike.
David Miller,
nice that.
Yep.
Like that jingle.
That's Peel. Right, Irvin Padgett asks, as a bowler, what do you do when a batsman's tearing apart with the bowling like Gale?
Just try something new. It's all you can do. I mean, look, in this form of the game, if you're a bowler and you play for long enough, one of these days you're going to get smacked around the park. It's just it's an occupational hazard. It happens to everyone. And you've got someone like Chris.
Depressing.
It must be. Yes.
It's depressing as a bowler.
Part of the reason I was never a bowler.
Short third man. Why is nobody talking about West Indies as one of the favourites for the World Cup?
I think a few people are. A few shrewdies are.
Imagine this lineup: Gale, Lewis, Hetmeyer, Puron. Gale, Lewis, Hope, Hetmeyer, Puron, Russell, Holden, Nurse, Kemo Paul, Azari Joseph, and O'Shane Thomas or Cottrell.
More 6 hitters than any team that I can think of in that lineup.
Well, yeah.
Is this Krunal coming back onto bowl? I think it is. Sorry, I beg his pardon. Sorry, it's not. It's Rahul Chahar. It's come onto bowl his leg spin, and he's over the wicket, and it's just chopped down on by Miller. And the ball almost rolls back onto his stumps. Just misses there.
Let's have a little tune for him.
Maybe you have a dream.
Can you grab me a beer out of the fridge before you go? Thanks.
The final game, but when you wake up, you're
this one is turned up towards wide, long on by Miller. He comes through for his second run. The score is 118 for 1, and we're in the 14th over.
Look, any team can win. I mean, it's harder to win as we were discussing last time you were here, to have an 18 round robin thing. I mean, you've got to win enough games and be consistent enough to get through to the last 4. But once you get there, anyone can win. Pakistan won the ICC Champions Trophy and they just about scraped through thanks to a rain interrupted game against South Africa, wasn't it? Essentially,
Chahar bowls a leg spinner to KL Rahul, who's back in his crease, and he cuts this one behind square. It's running away towards the deep backward point boundary, and he comes through for 2.
And and then they had 2 blinding games at the end. Absolutely slaughtered both the 2 favourites for the competition.
Not even close, was it? They absolutely did a number on England in the semi.
Very same to India in the final.
And they were absolutely fantastic in those 2 games, and you can't take that away from them. And you're absolutely right. That's what can happen in these tournaments. Get yourself through, and anything can happen. Down the track comes Rahul, and swats this for him in less than attractive fashion through the leg side.
Well, I think Beer's point is slightly different because of the round robin format. You can't just sneak through this time.
True.
That's what you're trying to get at.
Well, there'll be one position that'll be. There are a lot of teams going to have a lot of. If you take the favourites, England say win loads of their games and India win loads of their games. There's going to be a few teams that are going to be knocking around who are going to be in it till late in a tournament and have a slight chance, and everything goes their way. That's where it could get exciting. This format.
Chahar again bowls a flatter, quicker one this time, and Miller can only punch it back to the bowler. No run.
Because essentially half the sides in the group are going to get through. So I mean, you'd say Afghanistan's ranked outsiders, and possibly Bangladesh.
Sri Lanka, they're pretty ordinary these days in one-day cricket.
Okay.
Miller just chops this one under edge into his pads. No run again. Good over that. 121 for 1 off 14.
And you would say that West Indies are
He's used the word favourites. That I'll disagree with.
Favourites. No, I wouldn't say favourites, but they're probably a good bet.
Got a good chance.
Bet,
yeah.
Say a dark horse or a dangerous opposition.
Yeah.
Not favourites for me.
Well, England have often found them a dangerous opposition. Besides that T20 game in that opener, not only the final, but that first game in that T20 World Cup, they took us apart.
Yeah, on the 50 over series recently in the Caribbean.
Exactly.
So I don't think anyone should underestimate West Indies, certainly. Whether they should be the outright favourites, I agree. That I think would be too far. But hey, look, you just read out that line out there, and it's an extraordinary, frightening lineup of big hitters, isn't it?
We've got to wait for, of course, squads to be announced, haven't they? And West Indies have just changed their whole structure. It was going through on our WhatsApp group this morning, wasn't it?
I can't keep up with the changes in West Indies cricket.
Mash, if you're out there, come on, shout it out.
See what happens. And
they've gone for, and Dave did give us an inside track a little while ago. Let's get it up and I'll tell you.
Did you see any of that drama in the Afghanistan team, changing the captain? And a few of the players not particularly happy about the decision, openly voicing their frustrations, Rashid Khan, Muhammad Abi notably.
Yeah, well, rightly so. I mean, how can you, just in terms of management, how can you let your captain, who you're basically getting rid of, just find out through media announcements? I mean, it's just unforgivable, really, that.
So they've gone for, who have they gone for? Floyd Reefer is going to be the coach of the Caribbean side now, and he was the guy who won the Super 50 the internal tournament was it Barbados?
I think it might have been, but I can't.
And they kind of walked it, so they've made him. They've got rid of the whole higher echelons apparently of the board or whatever. Said goodbye to Pybus and got him in. And if he goes the right way, as you say, I mean, this is it. So much politics in West Indies. If they do pick that squad and that side is able to get out and be fit, then they you got Narayan in the mix as well. Or will he play in a World T20? Or will he be scared of his action getting called?
Oh, I don't know. Why is that more likely to be called in a World Cup than any other game he plays?
Well, isn't this rumours why he's avoided certain formats of the game?
Don't know. Not aware of that, I'm afraid. But
sticking with your point, our discussion on Afghanistan, Pirate Badshah, I'd be sceptical about Afghanistan's chances in the World Cup without Asghar Afghan as their captain. His leadership is invaluable to them.
Well, they may go out on the pitch and go, even the guys when picked as captain might go, I don't know, they have a little internal chat and you just tell me what to do and we'll do it, and if they feel comfortable with that as a team, and they may well go that way. Even what's announced and what's in the press is that way. The team will decide how they want to play. I just think that Afghanistan have a very limited experience of English conditions.
Yeah, and also I fancy that the format in which they are most successful is 2020 at the moment. The 50-over game is different format, obvious thing to say. Hardick is back on, and he bowls a full wide one to KL Rahul, who lofts it over extra cover. A couple of bounces, good bit of fielding there by the tall Australian Berendorf, and they come through for 2 runs. So we're back playing after the strategic timeout, and it's 123 for 1.
I forgot that's what it was.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that thing.
Yeah, that's why we were chatting away for so long. Yeah, very strategic. So strategic that it happens at the same time in every game.
Yes. A good bit of fielding, wasn't it?
Yeah, good. Got down well for a big lad there. It looks like a Christmas decoration, though.
Tottenham beat City last night.
Yeah, saw that.
Good,
yeah. Hardick in again to KL Rahul. Another very pleasant-looking shot as he steers this up towards long on. Runs the first one quickly. There's not a second there, though, so they just settle for the single.
Rahul's a batsman I've always liked to watch.
He's really good to watch. Yeah,
he was having a disaster in England, wasn't he? But he's really nice to watch. He's very correct.
Yeah. Hardick only in his second over, but he's conceded 20 runs already. He only bowled 8 balls. But as we've said, it can happen to any bowler in this form of the game particularly. David Miller has had a relatively slow start, just 2 runs from 5 deliveries. He faces up to Pandya now, who gets a low full toss. Well, not that low, actually about knee height. All he can do is stroke it up to long on and come through for 1.
Hardick, Pandya bowling to KL Rahul, and of course these two have been in the news for the wrong reasons of late.
Yes, they have. Well, one of our tweeters said earlier on that he thought that KL felt a bit hard done by what happened, and basically didn't feel he was to blame at all, but still suffered some of the consequences. So maybe there'll be a bit more aggression in his facing his teammate. His international teammate gets a wide ball this time, chops it to point, comes through for a single, and that's 57th run for KL.
Oh, it's just like the treatment Premier League players get here, isn't it? I mean, you're in the news and...
Personally, I think it was blown out of proportion. I think they were on the type of show they were on. Perhaps they should have got the benefit of the doubt.
You've got to be so careful if you're a player in the spotlight, haven't you? And I think you're a bit naive to think you can sort of, in inverted commas, get away with things. And I know there's always a context to these things and the type of show and stuff, but you're always going to be taken to task, I think, for unsavoury comments like that. This is slashed out by Miller. He is going to get a boundary this time as it squirts away behind square on the offside. He flashed hard, he got 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
One ball left of the 15th over, and then we're going to be having a little switcheroo in the com box here. You're going to be having Rob and Tony joining. I'll be making way, and yeah. So anyway, there'll be a change. You have some different voices.
Yeah, it's a great thing about us.
David Miller now has 7 from 7. He's going to be facing that final ball of the 15th over with the score on 130 for 1. Faces up now. Terrible wide delivery, so he'll have to bowl that one again.
That was horrible.
It was a massive wide, and it didn't bounce.
Wide.
Because he had that terrible injury, didn't he? We saw him go down. You were here when he went down in the Asia Cup.
Hardick.
Yeah.
Clutching
his back, and it looked terrible.
Now, to get the 226 that I predicted at the 12 over mark, they're really going to have to get a shifty on here.
Yeah.
They need to score 95 from the last 5 overs and 1 ball. Not beyond the realms of possibility, it's certainly at its outer edges. So this is driven out by Miller. De Kock takes the ball behind the stumps. Did he get a little thin tickle to that? I think he did. It's a wicket. 131 for 2. That's the end of David Miller. And it's after 15 overs, as I say, 131 for 2. And here comes the change.
Alternative cricket commentary, bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are Gorillas. We need your Patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
Right, well, we're all changed over in the end. Tony's destroying a seat, but we're all right. We're all right. So wicket off the last ball of the over, 131 for 2. The Indians doing a good job at hauling this back after what looked very dangerous at the halfway stage. Rob Sutton back with you for ball by ball for the last 5 overs of the Kings 11 innings. I've got Tony on the jingles, and Abdullah's staying with us on tweets. Afternoon, you well?
Yes, much needed a breakthrough there for Mumbai Indians.
Absolutely.
David Miller just going at the end, last ball of the 15th over.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit of a
dangerous player.
The new batsman is Karen, who we were discussing earlier, and we'll jingle him.
We
up.
will find him in a minute. Yes.
And it's Rahul who's on strike. It's the left arm spin back into the attack, and Rahul has just turned that away. They'll get a single, so he's up to 58, 132 for 2. Here's Karen now.
Karen now, okay. I've literally no idea where he is.
Might be in the second half. Oh no, he's there, just on the 4th one down.
Got him. He's here.
Give me a bow and Naya, cool stylish Naya, swinging, slashing, classy batting action. Gurun Karanaya, triple century holder. He'll maybe one day, maybe he'll play away from Indian.
Krunal bowls, Naya backs away, flips that over the infield. They're going to go into the offside. They'll get 1. It's Joseph out there does the fielding, so he's off the mark. 133 for 2. 2 left in the 16th. We're just seeing a replay. Sorry, 4 left in the 16th. Just seeing a replay of the wicket. Just a fairly regulation caught behind
just
that.
Just a feather, wasn't it? Just enough.
Yeah, it was.
Certainly wasn't a thick edge.
Yeah, much needed wicket for Pandya, who took some tap in his first spell earlier on. Obviously, the Universe boss has enjoyed his evening.
Yeah. Kale has been quite outstanding. 71 last time out, 58 so far today. He's been consistent, hasn't he?
Indeed, he's back on strike and he fires that away through the offside. There is a man out there, so it'll just be a single. He jogged through to go up to 59. Yeah, he's been very consistent when he's got in this season. He's either got a low score, or once he's got in, 2 scores of 71 in the tournament so far, including against Mumbai. When they played them in Mohali, a game the Kings 11 won, and I would suggest they're heading towards a score that would make them favourites for this match. Anything over 180 is going to be a challenging chase. Full toss from Krunal, put away by Karen. Should get a couple of runs here. Yes, they will, because there's a misfield on the mid-wicket boundary, and they'll come back for 2.
I don't think Mumbai would be too unhappy about the situation. It is a big, high-scoring venue. It's a difficult ground to defend on, but of course they are missing Rohit Sharma, and that will be a blow to them and their chances when weighing up their chances in the chase later this evening.
Well, I think I mentioned earlier on, both these sides, their middle order has not really fired in this tournament yet. Karen goes for the slog sweep. There's a man out there. It's going to not be a catch. It's Berendorf does the fielding. It bounced just short. It'll only be 1. I think they thought about 2, but it was a good piece of fielding there on the deep square leg boundary. Karen goes to 4, 137 for 2, 1 left in the 16th.
Excellent over so far. Can he close it out?
Yeah, it has been a good over this. 6 from it so far, no boundary. Famous last words with Rahul on strike. Played away into the leg side by Rahul, and it'll just be a single. So yes, that is a very good over at this stage of the innings. 7 from it. It's 138 for 2 off 16. And should we have some tweets?
Yes, Pirate Badshah. It was a combined campuses and colleges who won the West Indies Regional Super 50. We were talking about the West Indies new coach and his achievements, and it's the combined campuses and colleges. I think we mentioned Barbados instead as the winners of that competition. Archer, because Australia are going to win the World Cup and everyone knows it, so hope is futile.
They are peaking, and it's very dangerous to write off Australia in a World Cup.
Yeah. But of course,
I'll be furious if that happens, though. Just to have them celebrating at Lord's anyway.
We have a few of our friends on Crick Tracker with us as well.
Hello, Crick Tracker.
Irvin Padler has left us a message which says, as a bowler, what do you do when a batsman is tearing apart the bowling like Gale? Well, get him out.
Get him out. Get him caught on the mid-wicket boundary.
Absolutely. We also have with us Monia Monir Monir, Dorontu Arif and Naib Ali, who are all guessing at various different scores.
Swung away on the offside from Rahul, that was. The new bowler is still Hardik, and Rahul moves to 61 as we start the 17th over of the Kings 11 innings. I saw the Kings 11 play last week, that extraordinary game that they pulled out against the Delhi Capitals when Sam Curran finished the game with a hat-trick.
Oh yeah,
a game they had absolutely no right to win. I think Delhi lost something like their last 7 for 10 runs. It was an extraordinary game. So they do have the firepower with the ball. Mohammad Shami is having a decent tournament. Here's Pandya bowling short. Curran pulls that away. There is a fielder at fine leg. Again, there's a little bit of a fumble, but it won't cost them a run. It's Joseph out there, who has certainly not lived up to what happened last time, but you can't expect someone to take 6 for 12 every game. We're just seeing the Chris Gale wicket again. A mow into the leg side that was well caught by Krunal, and then Miller was caught behind off Hardik for 7, the only 2 wickets we have seen in this match so far.
Well, I think Kieran Pollard we're seeing a shot of Chris Gale getting a massage.
Yes, I don't think Chris Gale's going to come out and field. Pandya bowls. Now, there was no real appeal for LBW there against Rahul. I wonder if there's a little bit of inside edge on that. Can't see the umpire's signal.
I think you're right, there may have been.
As to whether, he's gone to 62, because there was no appeal from the bowler. There was a muted appeal from de Kock behind the stumps, but nothing doing. The projected score now 171, and when I was on earlier we were discussing 200.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I heard you. And you and Grubby were bigging up the double century, weren't you?
Yeah, there's not been many scores of 200 in this year's tournament. We've had a couple of high-scoring games, but 170's been enough in quite a lot of games. Hardik bowls. That's a cracking delivery. That is right in the block hole. And Karen has just played that back down the ground for no run.
He's grabbing back his form a wee bit here, isn't he? I think Kieran Pollard potentially was waiting to let him have his last 2 overs until Gale was out the picture.
Absolutely.
Because at none for 28 off 2, he was by far the most expensive of the bowlers.
Yeah.
But he now has a wicket to his name and a much more efficient over.
We're just getting a look at tomorrow's matchup, which will feature the Royals and all their England players against the table-topping CSK. Hardik bowls. That's spooned up in the air by Karen. It's not going to go all the way for 6, and there's going to be a chance for a catch, and it's taken on the boundary. And Karen has gone for 5, and Pandya picks up his 2nd wicket. It's not the best ball he's bowled in this over, but it has picked up the wicket, and that is the 3rd Kings 11 wicket of the innings. And just waiting to see who the fielder was. Might have been our friend the lad, but we'll have a wickets jingle.
Well, we will. Well, if I can find it.
All right, I'll discuss.
Oh, they're here.
We've got it.
Have this one.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at? No!
Karen was just trying to shovel that into the leg side and hit it straight up in the air. And the fielder on the deep mid-wicket boundary has taken the catch. The fielder was Chahar, the leggy. So Karen Nair is out for 5, 141 for 3, 1 ball left to the 17th.
And who do we think we have coming in next?
I think it might be Mandeep Singh. He's often come in towards the end of the innings. Or they might promote Sam Curran. He opened the other day.
Yeah, these are all possible.
He got he got a quick fire 20 before his antics with the ball. What do you reckon a good score is going to be, Abdullah?
I think at least 185.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think 180 is probably par on this ground.
Sarfraz,
it is Sam Curran.
no.
It is Sam Curran. He's going to be off strike, so we'll jingle him up at the end of the over. As Pandya bowls to Rahul, who's played this into the leg side. They might look for 2 here. Curran's run the first one hard. They're going to come back. Curran's got a chase on here, and if the throw had been better, Sam Curran would have been run out without facing. But as it was, the throw was a little wide, and they've got through for 2. But another good over for the Indians, because only 5 came from that one. It's 143 for 3, 17 gone. Any more tweets?
Short third man. Just saw Rahul Chah's stats. Economy under 7 despite bowling to 2 destructive players is excellent.
Yeah, he bowled very well.
We've got a few people again on Cricket Tracker. Mushtaq, Lonely Mushtaq. So it wants to show the match. We can't. We're not allowed to do that. We are a voice service, but you do get to see us.
That's better than some of these games.
Elzina Maria Landal, have a nice thing, people. Well, we'll do our best.
Nice thing.
Also says, let's see, who else do we have? A few people. Manu Mandu. Let's go. Punjab, thumbs up. Ibrahim Sultan, hello to you. And I think the 190, well, 180 is not a bad shout at the moment. Where are we at the moment?
143, three to go.
That was what, that's what Naib Ali was driving at. I think that might be a decent shout.
I think the aforementioned 226 is a long shot from here.
Yeah. Yes, that's. I think that one has gone, isn't it? That's wickets, slow run rates, don't they?
Indeed. Bumrah is coming back, and it will be Sam Curran to face.
Is he a batter or bowler? Sam Curran. What's his distinguishing feature? Sam Curran. His dance from
And with a hop, skip and a jump, Bumrah's in.
Ooh.
Curran's flipped this up in the air, and he could be out for... No, he's found the gap, and it's gone for 4. Lovely shot. Well, I don't think he timed it particularly well, but there was no fielder out there, a deep extra cover. He's away with a 4. Maybe I was doing him a disservice. I think he did mean that. And flicked it over the infield. 1 bounce for 4. He loves that shot on the offside. I'm quite surprised they haven't got a man out there for it.
And is Bumrah, is he continuing from his previous over?
Yeah,
or
I think
is he
so. I think so.
We won't jingle him then.
Yeah.
Just when I found one, just when I had it right ready to go. No, we don't need that.
No.
There we go. I've navigated things now.
Oh, we might let you have it, seeing as you found it.
Seeing as I found it, I
Bumrah
might
comes
play it.
into bowl, and Sam Curran flares away on the offside. There's going to be more runs here, and it's another 4. 1 bounce. The
most
fielder
definitely.
couldn't get it on the boundary.
It's me, Sanshi. It's me, Sanshi.
Oh, well. Sam Curran is 8 from 2. He can do no wrong in the IPL at the moment after having a shocking first game where he went for about 50 in his 4 overs, but he has found his feet in this competition.
Man of the moment, of course, named one of Wisden's 5 cricketers of the year earlier this morning.
Yes,
Good for him.
And very well deserved.
Yeah,
Not the only
I think
Surrey.
so.
Rory Burns was in that as well.
Yeah,
Obviously, Surrey ran away with the county championship last year, and
They did.
it wouldn't surprise me if they did it again.
No, I think they're going to take some stopping, aren't they?
Especially as well because there's a chance Sam Curran might not make England's World Cup squad, and there's a few players in that Burns folks that won't, and there are 7 championship games during the World Cup period, so that is going to be the time where the championship will be won or lost, will be during the World Cup. Bumrah is going to come round the wicket to the left-handed Sam Curran. Hop, skip and a jump, very wide on the crease. Curran flips him. This time he's going to be caught. Oh well, it was fun while it lasted. Curran went for the ramp shot over fine leg, didn't get all of it, and de Kock has taken the catch. Oh, it was fun while it lasted.
So get on your bike and take a hike right out of here.
See exactly what he wanted to do.
Well, it was the right shot because
poorly executed then.
because both fine leg and third man were up, so the flip over the keeper was the right choice. He just got absolutely nothing on it.
He just dollied it up in the end.
And it's
didn't he?
looped up. It's catching practice for a wicket keeper of the standard of Quinton de Kock.
Indeed.
But 8 off 3 at this stage of the innings. You'd certainly don't sniff at that. 151 for 4.
Eventful innings, 4 and outs.
Yeah, well, there was the other day. Ben Stokes got 6 off 2. That's almost the classic T20 innings.
Sticking with Surrey in the county championship, of course, Surrey start their defence of the title tomorrow against Essex at the Oval.
Yes, it's going to. Judging by the weather forecast, it's going to get a bit parky in the UK over the weekend. If you're going, take layers.
And of course, that was a real classic last year, Surrey versus Essex, with the Sky cameras there.
Last game, wasn't it?
Yes, back in September.
Yeah. Well, the county you should all be talking about the mighty Leicestershire, who are top of the 2nd division after 1 game. We actually won a game. Oh,
you did.
Beats great result that against Sussex.
We battled out a fantastic rearguard action against the mighty Northampton.
Well, it looked at one stage like they were going to lose.
Indeed, it's gonna be a bummer anyway.
The aforementioned Mandeep Singh is the new batsman. He's at non-strikers end, and Bumrah's delivered a horrendous wide that was so wide they've actually managed to run a single as well.
Well, here is the new batsman.
Here is a plea, cause this really sucks. Nobody knows this. Keep it secret, please. It's so hard for me to bowl to Mandeep Singh.
What a good looking fellow, isn't he?
He is. He has had a solid tournament so far. Just briefly, it was run for David Milan, wasn't there, last
160
week?
odd.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Good. I still think he's got half a chance of getting into the Ashes squad. I would certainly be looking at him as an option in the middle order for England.
I'd go along with that.
Here's Bumrah. Mandeep's first ball is played back down the ground. They're going to run the first one hard, but I don't think they're going to get back for two because they're not going to take on the Kieran Pollard arm. He is an excellent fielder. And they don't. Just getting a replay of the Sam Curran dismissal. I think it might have been a slower ball actually from Bumrah that deceived Curran as he went for the ramp shot. And as I said, it flipped up to De Kock, and there was never any doubt that he was going to drop that.
No, I don't think so. Curran, well, he just, as you rightly said, right shot, just badly executed.
It's always hard coming in this time of the innings, isn't it? Bumrah bowls to Rahul, who's been out there the whole time, and he's spooned that away into the offside. He's pierced the gap perfectly. 4 more.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, despite the wicket, this has been an expensive over from Bumrah. It's 12-14 with a ball to come.
And sticking with the theme of Middlesex, of course, the first cricket of the summer at Lord's tomorrow when they take on Lancashire.
They're taking the mighty Lancs on.
Wow,
I'll see if I can get up there for a couple of hours in the afternoon and take a woolly jumper and a couple of scarves.
Well, they're the two for me who I think will probably dominate the second division. Certainly Lancashire, I think, will be hard to stop in the second division. Bumrah bowls and Rahul's turned that away into the leg side. Good shot that, because it means he'll keep the strike. So he is now 69 off 54, 159 for 4, 2 overs to go. Tweets? Do we have tweets?
Yes, we've got a photo of Adam Zampa, and Zampastagram has just won cricketer Alice Bands for all time, and I don't know if you can see that from here.
So he's back in an Alice Band, is he?
Yeah.
It can be a popular option for the cricketer, the Alice Band. A few footballers went for the Alice Band. Not so much anymore. More sort of a back in the day thing. Mind you, there are a few players playing now. You can't imagine wearing Alice Bands.
Zampa wasn't picked when Australia were over here last summer, was he?
No, he didn't.
One-day series.
No, he didn't. But to be fair, I mean, Australia are a bit of a shambles when they were here. Last summer I went to a couple of the games. They were just awful.
But there was obviously no Warner, no Smith, no Stark, no Hazelwood, no Cummins.
Coulton Nile, I think, went home injured off that tour as well.
Didn't they get hit for 491 at
481 at Trent Bridge?
Was it 491 or 481?
481. I was there. Pandya bowls. Rahul places away into the offside. That's going all the way for 6. It's dropped by the steward, I think that is, or is that a ball wide? I don't know. But it's a 6 over extra cover to Rahul. More dreadful cheerleading. That is the 280th 6 of this season's IPL. And Rahul has deposited that. It's just crept over the boundary. It's a ball boy, actually, who has dropped the catch. Right in front of one of the advertising boards.
Oh, he did. Well, to be fair, he was on his knees at the time.
He was on his knees, yeah.
In sort of ball boy ready to pounce position.
Yes. Not sure why you need ball boys at cricket. Just let the crowd throw it back. Anyway, here's Pandya. Bowls. Rahul places away in the offside. It's over the fielder. And he's going to get 4 more. Berendorf can't cut that one off. 6-4 to start this one.
1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it up. 2, 3, 4. Up. 2, 3, 4. Keep it up. 2, 3, 4.
If he keeps going like this, a century could hove into view. He's got a bit of work to do to get there. 79 now, but
poor old Hardick. He had 2 shocking overs. He had a bit of a redemption over, and now he's getting some serious tap again.
Yeah, that was not a particularly good ball actually from Pandya. It's very well played by Rahul, though. He's flicked it over the fielder who was inside the circle, and Berendorf couldn't get it on the way around. So we've had 10 6s and 12 4s in this Kings 11 innings, and they're sneaking up to that 180 mark that you were talking about earlier.
Loy.
Here's the next one, and at 6 more. 6 more from Rahul. Pandya dropped short, and Rahul's pulled him over fine leg to move to 85.
I believe in miracles since you came to bat. You 60 thing, you 60 thing, you. I believe in miracles since you came out to bat. You 60 thing.
Shah Faisal Tazik has joined us on Crick Tracker. Hello to you.
So 85 not out, 9 deliveries remaining in the innings. If he can get enough of the strike, the 3-figure milestone is on.
It definitely is on. So we've had a couple of centuries in the tournament so far. Pandya bowls. Rahul down the ground this time.
Was he got enough?
And it's another 6.
He's away.
He moves into the 90s.
So that's 3 off the over and a 4. So every first 4 balls.
We've had 6, 4, 6, 6
off 4 balls so far.
Pandya now 2 for
Goodness
52. And when Rahul is in this kind of form, there are a few better batsmen to watch, I think. And we were discussing the green room earlier about the runs he scored in the last test against England in the summer. But this is a vital innings for his team in what is an important game between two teams who are chasing playoff places. Pandya bowls. Rahul, that's a better ball. Rahul went back across his off stump, across his leg stump rather, and played it away into the offside. And he gets 1, so he's gone to 92. Mandeep does not want to take the bowling off him here with 1 ball left of Pandya's spell.
Yeah.
Which, as Tony was saying, he had 2 overs where he went round the park, pulled it back,
and
but now his figures have been
off round the
completely
park
ruined.
again. Yes, it's really been ugly for him, hasn't he, poor chap?
Well, 1 big over.
6, 4, 6, 6 and 1, so 23 off this over.
With 1 ball to come, and they get a big over in the last one. The magical 200.
The 200 is on. 200 and a century for KL.
Indeed.
All on the cards.
Pandya bowls. Mandeep's played this away into the leg side. They've got to try and get back for 2 here, I think. They're going to come back.
They have
done because the throw was wide. That's good running. That's a massive over. So we got 25 off that over. 184 for 4. Pandya ends with 2 for 55 from his 4 overs. I actually think he's bowled better than that suggests. But he's gone round the park in his last over. The century is on for KL Rahul as we go into the last over of the Kings 11 innings. Do we have any more tweets?
What's the record?
Yep. Arthur, I've already hit my pick for Durham. I beg your pardon. Durham winning Division 2, and of course Durham went down to Derbyshire, didn't they? They lost to Derbyshire.
Yeah, that's a bad result. Anyway, but the good news for Durham is they haven't started on minus 300 or whatever the ECB have punished them for this year. So at least they've started on 0 this year.
They haven't had snow stop play yet either.
Not yet.
Isn't that a traditional season opener at Durham? Is no play because of snow?
I went to Chesney Street in September. God, it was cold.
It's very cold.
It's cold. It was international as well. I can't remember who England were playing. It's a lovely place to watch cricket though.
It's beautiful.
It's just cold.
How long ago was it?
It's just the summer rolls round there about a month after everyone else. That's the problem.
2 or 3 years ago. It might have been the West Indies when they were here. Might have been the West Indies. So
who do you think's
I
who's
think
taking
it'll
this
be
last
Bumrah.
over? We
I
think
think
it's going to be
Bumrah
Jasprit,
unless they go back to Joseph. Joseph has got 2 overs, none for 22. Bumrah 3 overs, 1 for 26. It is going to be Bumrah bowling to Rahul in the slot. Bumrah's played that away. That's going to be 6. So now the 100 is very much on. That's a second tier 6 from Rahul. He goes to 98.
Having been struck by the bats.
I think he will make it now. You'd be surprised if he didn't, wouldn't you?
He's just hit the accelerator out of nowhere.
The 100 and the 200 are both very much in view.
It's a 6.
It's not only a 6, it was a 90-metre 6. That's one of the biggest we've seen today.
Biff Jerky wants to know why we don't see more Yorkers at the death.
That's a very good question. That is a very good question, Biff.
You probably would if Malinga was playing, but
very true.
Because he's not. He's been bumped out the side.
Bumrah bowls. Rahul's had a swing.
Okay, what are you doing?
No,
boy?
it's he's not edged it. He's annoyed with himself there, isn't he? He's had a big swing at that one from Bumrah.
No, I knew he hadn't edged it, but he was close to edging it.
He was close.
He was looking to run it. Was he looking
So,
to sort of carve it away to through point, wasn't he?
Bumrah's absolutely thrown that one down at speed, and you can't blame him at this stage of the innings.
KL is cross with himself. I don't know what language he's swearing in, but I would imagine he's not.
He's not happy
He's
at all.
reprimanding himself in no uncertain terms. Let's put it that way.
98, Rahul from 61 balls. Bumrah bowls short, played down the leg side. Is that going to be a wide? No, it's not.
It's not. Well bowled.
It's a good bit of bowling that from Bumrah. So 2 dot balls, which, considering the carnage we've had in the last couple of overs, the Indians will be delighted with that. Bumrah is a fine bowler.
Staying with that tweet, I think Yorker is such a hard delivery to execute. The margin for error is so minimal, and I think in a modern age with all these ramps, it's not always the go-to ball for fast bowlers at the death.
You used to just get six balls of Yorkers when T20 first started.
6 and 2 dots. It's an interesting over, isn't it?
It has been
Very
interesting
mixed bag.
over. Here's Bumrah bowling. Rahul down the ground. Is that going to be the 100? No, I don't think it is. They're going to try. They're going to come back for 2, and he's got there. There's a fumble by the bowler, and Rahul is through for his century. What a fantastic innings that is from KL Rahul. It's a 63 ball ton.
20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100.
Congratulations, sir. You are a centurion.
He most certainly is. What well played.
And he gets an appropriate gorilla round of applause, as he should. Fantastic. So 71 followed by 100, and there could be some more to come. He's got 2 more balls to face, isn't he? He's kept the strike.
Yep.
Last time I was in, I saw Sanju Samson get 100 from Rajasthan Royals.
Can you come again? Oh, that's hit him. That's hit Rahul. He's dropped his bat, and he's going to run without his bat. He almost looked confused as to see whether he's allowed. It's a leg bye.
I think he got a bit of a thump, and I think he's he's taken one there.
Yeah, but he's off strike now. His bat has been retrieved. I think it might have hit his shoulder, but we'll have to see that again on the replay. So Rahul is going to finish precisely 100 not out, unless this is a wide. It has. Just come off the forearm, actually, and that's one of the unprotected areas, especially because the shirt sleeve hasn't covered it, so that'll be a stinger for Rahul to take into the dressing room.
Rennie Keita, Leicestershire won a match. There is a Santa Claus.
There certainly is, Rennie. End the season now, I can tell you that. We've enjoyed that win. Here's the last ball of the innings. Bumrah bowls. Flicked away by Mandeep. He's finished with a boundary. Lovely shot from Mandeep Singh through the offside for 4. 54 runs have come from the last 3 overs of the Kings 11 innings. KL Rahul finishes 100 not out from 64 balls. Mandeep 7 from 3. Set up by Chris Gale. Finished by Rahul 197 for 4. What an effort.
Big score, irrespective of the boundary dimensions of the pitch. But it can be done on this ground at this venue. We've seen that in international T20 cricket. But of course, there's no Rohit Sharma. That's going to be a bit daunting task for the Mumbai Indians with his absence at the top of the order.
It most certainly is, and State the Bleeding obviously going to need a good power play. The only trouble with these big chases is you could be 3 down after 6 and it rather peters out.
Yep, 197 though is that's 198 to chase. That's the upper end of
just over 9
targets, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think we've had a chase of 199 in this tournament. That game you mentioned earlier, the Samson, he got 100 and ended up on the losing side. But as I said, those last 3 overs could well prove crucial in the final analysis. So Rahul 100 and Gale 63, and not a lot else from Kings 11. Miller 7, Curran 5, Sam Curran 8, and Mandeep 7. So very much a 2-man show. But if it's Rahul and Gale, you're going to score a lot of runs. Right, we'll take a breather. And,
we will,
and I'm sure Hendo or the Bear will probably come and stick some interviews on.
Oh yeah,
to entertain.
Shall I just run through the bowling?
To entertain. We'll do the bowling figures. We'll do the bowling figures.
Jason Berendorf. Well, he got thumped early on, 1 for 35. Jasprit Bumrah 1 for 38. Alzari Joseph couldn't back up his 6 for 12. He got none for 22.
Only had 2 overs, didn't he?
Chahar none for 27. Yes, he did. And Hardik Pandya. Goodness me, he did get. He really was at the end of the long handle. 2 for 57 for him. He did get 2 wickets, but at some cost. Going at an economy rate of 14.25. And K. Pandya, his brother indeed, none for 17 off his 2. The Bear is
and for those
on his knees before us.
And for those who like the stats, it was 6 4s and 6 6s in the Rahul century. And we will be back in about 10 minutes' time with Mumbai needing 198 to win.
What have we teed up there?
Here's the man who's made
Warren
today
Dutron.
possible. Warren Dutron, Chief Executive of Cricket Ireland. Warren, thank you very much for joining us. It must be a very, very busy day for you today, and a momentous day.
It is indeed. Great cricketers in the past have, up to 680 or 90, I think I was hearing a little bit earlier on. And that's hugely exciting. I think it's really encouraging for people in my position to see that there isn't a sense